Hello sir, hello everyone. My name is Joshua Dwi Hartoyo and my student number is 23 523. I'm from Guidance and Counseling Program Study and batch 23. Thank you.
Hello sir, my name is Agustinus Manuel Centuri. My student number is 23 507. I'm from batch 23.
Hello, sir. My name is Maria Novita Sinim. Student number 231150012.
Hello sir, my name is Vilasur Ginting. My student number 23115002. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Dio Krisnawandi. You can call me Dio. My student number 2311520. My batch 23.
Hello sir, my name is Jordan Luciano and my student number is 23111570. Thank you.
Historical context. The 1960s was a turbulent period in Indonesian history, marked by ideological clashes and economic difficulties. Three major ideological factions, like nationalism, communism, and Islam, fight for influence in the political arena. President Sukarno sought to balance these forces through his concepts of Nasakoms, or nationalism, religions, and communism. However, this strategy caused friction between the Indonesian Communist Party, or PKI, which grew increasing powerful, and the army, which viewed communism as a threat to national stability. Internationally, the Cold War exacerbated this tension, as Western nations feared the rise of communism in Southeast Asia. Many analysts believe that global players, particularly the United States and the Soviet Union, had vested interest in Indonesia's political developments during this period. The Lubang Buaya accident was a bloody tragedy occurred from September 13 to October 1 in 1965 in Indonesia. This tragedy involved the kidnapping and murder of 7 high-ranking army officers by a group calling itself the September 13 Movement, or G30S. The accident is often linked to the Indonesian Communist Party, or PKI, and marked to the beginning of significant change in the country's political landscapes. Background: in the mid of 1960s, Indonesian political climate was highly tense, filled with the ideological conflicts between communist, nationalist, and Islamic factions. The Indonesia Communist Party, or PKI, had grown increasingly powerful, gaining influence among the populace and establishing close ties with President Sukarno. However, tension rose between the PKI and the army, which adopted an anti-communist stance. During this period, rumors emerged about a so-called Council of Generals allegedly planning a coup against President Sukarno. It is suspected that these rumors were deliberately spread by groups seeking to weaken the military's influence, further escalating the conflict between the PKI and the army.
Chronology of events. On the 9th of September 33 and the early hours of October 1965, troops elevated with the September 33 movement can fit seven high-ranking army officers. Number 1, Lieutenant General Army Yani. Number 2, Major General R. Suprato. Number 3, Major General M.T. Haryono. Number 4, Brigadier General D.I. Panjaitan. Number 5, Brigadier General Sutoyo Siswami Harjo. Number 6, Major General S. Parman. 7, Lieutenant Pierre Andres Tenden. The officer were taken to a seat known as Lubang Buaya in Jakarta. 3 they were tortured and executed, and their bodies were disposed of in on all will. Some of the officers endured severe torture before being killed.
Subversion and aftermath. After the incident came to light, Major General Suharto, the commander of the army strategic, reversed command Kostrad, swiftly the control of security in Jakarta. He led an operation to suppress the September 20 movement, arresting members and sympathies of the PKI suspected of influence. This operation escalated into a widespread purge of PKI members and superstars across Indonesia. Hundreds of thousands, possibly millions, were arrested, imprisoned, or executed without trial. The event left deep scars and trauma for many families and led to the stigmatization of those associated or suspected of being associated with the PKI.
Political implication. The Lubang Buaya incident profoundly impacted Indonesia's political trajectory. Political implication. The Lubang Buaya incident profoundly impacted Indonesia's political trajectory. President Sukarno's power began to wane, and Major General Suharto gained increasing authority. In 1966, through the March 11 mandate Super Semar, Sukarno delegated authority to Suharto to restore order and security. Suharto leveraged the mandate to continue dismantling Sukarno's influence and consolidate his overpower. Eventually, Suharto became president, leading Indonesia under the new order regime for over 3 decades. During his administration, the PKI was banned, and communist ideology was systematically suppressed through the legal and social means.
Today, Lubang Buaya site has been turned into Den Pancasila Sakti Monument, serving as memorial to her the fallen hero of the revolution. They cite the full status of the revolutionary hero and day of will weathering bodies were discarded.
And next is controversy and historical interpretation. The Lubang Buaya incident remains a subject of debate among historians and academics. Various theories and interpretations have emerged regarding the involvement of different parties, including the PKI and foreign powers. Some research argue that the incident might have been driven by complex political dynamics, both domestic and international, involving ideological battles at the time. In summary, the Lubang Buaya incident stands a pivotal moment in Indonesian history, shaping the country's political direction and policies in the years that followed.